video, I'm going to be teaching you how to do art. And this is not just regular art. This is art where we're going to be taking paint and dumping it in a bucket and dumping it onto here and moving it around. And that's how we got all these cool effects on here. Here I just put it on the side and poured it down. That's why it's not as squiggly. In this video I'll also be showing you how to add metal twine to make it hang on a wall, attach it to a wall, and yeah. I hope you enjoy this video and learn lots. I think this is a very cool method of art because it kind of mixes all the colors to get these cool squigglies. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this video and like it. Guys, welcome back to Art with Abigail. Today I'm going to be doing pour art. So basically what that is I have a big canvas here. I have paint and a container, and I'm going to be putting a bunch of paint in this container all on top of each other, and then I'm going to be pouring it on. So I think this is going to be pretty cool. I've done this before. It's pretty fun, so let's get started with the video. Okay guys, now talking about the paint. So I have 6 paints and this one thing that's just basically glitter. So when it comes to paint, it's your choice how many colors you want and what colors you want. So pick as many colors as you want. I recommend at least 5. So yeah, grab your paint and then we'll move on to the next step. So now that we've picked out our paints, we're gonna get a canvas. So I have this canvas. It's very big. I recommend working with a smaller one, but it's the only one I really have. So this is what I'm using. Okay, so since we're going to be pouring paint on to get it on the edges, it's of course going to flood over, so we need to protect the surface we're working on. So what I did was I grabbed a 13-gallon bag, a garbage bag, and I cut it down the line and put my canvas in it. Now, once you've done that, we're going to move on to the next step. You should have grabbed a container, and in this container, we're going to put our paint. So this is the part where it's going to kind of work on the painting, like it's going to infect the painting. So you're going to want to do this part right. But then again, we're painting, so there really isn't a wrong way to do it. Okay, so now what you're going to want to do is grab your paints and open them and just put some in your container. So we're just going to keep wanting to put your colors on. So this is going to infect the way the paint comes out on your painting. So I recommend doing it in a color order that you would like. Okay, so I'm gonna finish doing this. Ooh. And then I'll come back so you can see I just put those in there, like so. Okay, so one thing you are gonna wanna be mindful about is when you are adding your paint, don't just add a little squirt. Make sure you add like a lot. Like I'm not just gonna do that. I'm going to chicken. I'm not just gonna do that little squirt. I'm going to really get it in there. Okay, so keep doing this and I'll be back once I'm done. Now I have it all in here. That's a little less than I thought I was gonna put in there, but it'll work. Okay, so now I'm gonna take this and let it kind of get into the corner. Okay. Now I'm going to move the camera angle for this next part, and we're going to do the... Now you're going to want to take your paint bucket and go towards the middle of your canvas and just pour it out on there. And just move your paint around. This could be very messy, so be careful for the part. Okay, now I'm gonna take my bucket and set it to the side. I'm gonna take my canvas. I'm going to tip it so that the paint starts moving. That's a lot of it. Very slow process. And I realized that since I'm using such a big board, that I'm going to have to do multiple paint buckets. So I'm just going to let this drip until the whole thing is covered. So I'm gonna have to do this step multiple times. I'll come back once I'm done spreading this. That was great. And now I'm gonna start filling out my second paint bucket. So I'm going to add yellow to the bottom. Not too much. And then pink. I'm gonna try to do lighter colors and no red since red took over last time. I was not expecting that like at all. Purple. And then the glitter, which also has a little bit of a purplyish, pinkish color to it. Okay, I got that done, and now I'm going to add that. So I set all my paints to the side and start tipping it a little. Great. Set that to the side. Okay, have my canvas. So this is how much I got tilted last time. Not a lot. This is going to take a lot. Since I'm doing this. Alright. I'm going to change the angle of the screen so you can see this. And let's do that. Okay, I just poured it all on. Now I'm gonna spread it. Very slow process.
What are you doing right now?
Tapping in the back of it, hoping that it's going to go down. I don't know if that's actually helping. Like I said, it's a very slow process. Okay, guess time to make the next paint bucket. Now for the next paint bucket, I'm gonna do more of a bluish, greenish color scheme.
Go through a straw to move it around?
Not quite. And once I pour this on, if it isn't really spreading that well, I think I might do what one of my helpers just said, which is blow through a straw to help move all the paint around. So I'm adding these three colors, and then just for me, a little pink, like so, and maybe a little purple. So everything except red. I think there's plenty of red on it. Okay, so I'm gonna move these to the sides and pour it on. And then maybe blow through a straw to help move it around. Okay, pouring it on, and red keeps coming out. Okay. pretty color. Alright. I don't really want it to drip right onto the red, but just to fill in this little crack, you're gonna have to do that. Alright, feel done with that. Okay, that's very more pory, drippy. Turn it this way to fill in that. Let's try this way. Okay, straw, terrible idea. Yeah, it's not really working at all, and I don't want to put the straw in the paint at all, because I feel like that'd mess up its natural arty whatever. So, yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to wait for it to dry. Oh, there. Yeah, I was right about one thing. It's definitely messing up the design. So, and to stop dripping. Okay, not worth it. This thing goes in the trash. This is just one of my special guests that just randomly happened to not want to move from my seat. Okay, so now I'm going to do a few more paint buckets without filming, and then spread it a little, and then I'll come back, okay?
Okay.
I wasn't talking to you.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm done covering the whole thing, and you should have just saw a picture of what it looks like. Now I'm going to go grab the hairdryer, and I'm going to start blow drying it so all the paint can dry. And it might take 1 or 2 days if the blow dryer does not dry, which probably won't because this is a lot of paint. So I'm going to go grab it. Now I got the hairdryer, and I'm going to start drying this masterpiece of art. Sit for a while and just be so that it can dry a little more. So I'm gonna like read a book or something while I wait. So I'm gonna go do that. Okay guys, so it's the next day and this is all dry, and it's very interesting to see all the different patterns and designs that came on it. So I like the middle part the most, and my least favorite part would probably be the right side of it, because for that part I did kind of have to take that straw and push the paint around so it doesn't look as like natural and flowing and squiggly as the other parts. And to fill out this whole canvas, I basically used the whole paint containers. What I'm saying is they're basically empty, so keep in mind this does use a lot of paint. Okay, so now for the next step, we're gonna take our canvas and go look around. So you are gonna take your canvas and go look around and find a spot in your house that you'd like to hang it. And then we'll move on to the next step. Okay guys, so this is where I think I'm gonna hang it. So now we're gonna go get it ready to hang. So let's go. Okay guys, so to get this ready to hang on the wall, we're gonna have to gather supplies. So first I grabbed some metal wiring. If you don't have this, you could use this kind of stuff, but it's not gonna be as strong. So if you have this stuff, I really recommend using it. Okay, and then third or second, staple gun. I would recommend adult supervision or someone older than you who knows how to use it. I'm going to have my brother help do this. And so, let's see. When you are using a staple gun, you need to have someone with you, like, you need to be very careful. Okay, so I realized I've needed to add a tool. We're also going to be using these pliers. Is that what they're called? No, what are they called? Metal scissors. Well, we're going to be using things that look like these, so let's use this. So let's go. Okay, guys, so when you do this next step, this is what you're going to want to make it look like, just to give you a sense of what you're doing. And then you'll hang it on the wall, of course, and it'll be beautiful. I just realized it says Leatherman on it, so it's probably called a Leatherman. So, yeah, use a Leatherman pliers or something. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is flip your canvas over, which I realized I did while I wasn't filming. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab our wiring and unfold it so it's about the size we want. So, this is going to be complicated. This is going to be very complicated. Alright, actually, let's change the angle of the can. Let's change the angle of the camera. So now what you're going to want to do is measure out your twine or whatever it's called. So about like right here to here would probably be good. Okay, now that that's measured, we're going to need some space for the staple. So like about in there and there, so that looks good. So now we're gonna cut it, and when we cut it, we're gonna put it inside of that tiny little part. So let's see here, it's like that, it's like that, and that's like that there. So let's cut this. There. Okay. Now we're gonna put this to the side, and we're going to use the staple gun now. Now we're going to use a staple gun. So we're going to try to line it up, and we're going to put one right here and right here. So we're going to do the top one first. Line that up. And then we're going to do one a little lower. Ready, set, go. There. Okay. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So, and like that. Okay, that's a little long. I'm going to cut it. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing to this side. And a little bit lower. And that's a little high, but that's all you're gonna do. And now you're done. Now what we're gonna want to use are some little brackety thingies. So they kind of look like this, and this is what we're gonna hang it on. And then it has this little hole here so that we can use a nail and nail that through to the wall. So now I'm going to go take this to the place where we're going to be nailing it on. Okay, so now I'm going to take my painting and put it where I wanted it, and I wanted it about like right here. So I'm going to put a dot where it's going to be hanging. Okay. Now I'm going to put this down. I'm going to grab the bracket thingies, which are somewhere. Ah, yes, on the ground. And then we're gonna take this up here, and I'm going to grab what I showed you, the thing, and a nail. And I'm gonna put the nail inside of the part that I showed you, and I need a hammer. Alright, now I'm gonna put the hammer, or the nail, where the hole is, and I'm going to lightly tap on it. And put that in. Okay, now it's in, and I'm gonna put my hammer down and grab my picture and hang it up. Now it's hanging. It's perfect, and that's how you do it. I hope you enjoyed this video and had fun learning about a different way to paint. And I hope you can do this at home and have a fun time. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.